Hello, and I'll wait for your funky dancing, Jason. But hello, everybody, and welcome to a new season of the British Bears Show. We've been, on us holidays over the last sort of summertime, so now we're back to football. The pre-season's happening, and it's all time for Bears football again. How are you, Jason? How are you doing, mate?
I am bloody marvellous, mate. Yeah, really good. Super excited about football, man. It's just, I am pumped. As my little, that says, it is time for me. It's time to get excited. Really glad to be back. Really glad the football's back, and I'm loving what we're seeing, which is what we're going to talk about. But I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. You know me, mate. Just a bit of ducking and diving. You know what I mean? Keeping my head above water. But it's always good to be back talking Bears football, and especially this year as well, because we're going to be both in Chicago in December for Dan's birthday. So we're going to go to a game together, which is just going to be amazing. It'll be the Thursday night game, and I've always wanted to go to a night game because I always feel sports a bit more magical under the lights. So that's just going to be an awesome trip, mate. And let's crack on with the show, man. So I suppose we should start with the off season. I suppose we should start off with the draft and who we brought in, and your sort of feeling about the draft. I mean, obviously the number one topic is Caleb. Is that right, Jason?
Caleb. For goodness sake, man.
I've been saying his name all the time. It's Caleb. So I apologise to people who told me on the Barfly Tailgate show on Sunday it's Caleb apparently, and I've been saying the wrong name. But yeah, I mean Caleb, I think that Carolina trade what we did last year is probably going to be the best trade in NFL history. And to think how much we got out of it as for the Bears. But not much more you can say about Caleb. I mean, I just think he's just brought, regardless of how good he is as a quarterback, he's just brought some new energy back to the club. His sort of energy level is great, and what he's been doing in practice looks absolutely amazing, and he just seems to be bonding well with everybody, which I think is really a big thing, especially being the quarterback. You're going to be a leader of that club, and he just seems to be a very infectious person to be around. So I'm really glad we got him. I mean, I knew, like me and you were discussing on the show before draft that they might keep Fields and get a big haul of picks, but I just think they had to go for it. I think Caleb's he's got such a top side to him that I think they had to take the chance instead of keeping Fields again. So, how do you feel about the pick, Jason? Very happy.
I have the shirt. That's I'm all in, man. I was a Fields guy. I think it was the amount of trade, the value we could have got for trading him, etc. Says we've done all that to death. I'm not going over it again, but I'm totally. He's our quarterback, man, and you can see that it was the right decision. In my mind, it's like it's night and day, man. Caleb is the real deal. I'm thinking it's like, and I know it's early days. I'm not going to say, the thing is, you'd have to go from one extreme to the other because you could just got to judge by what you see each time he comes out. So the highlights from practice, the little bits of the games you see, the series he's played in the preseason. It's the stuff that he's done that I have never seen a quarterback for Chicago do in my lifetime. So you can just see, and I find it quite annoying that we never really saw all the lead up to it, I said before I had some character concerns because there's all these things that were coming out about a certain, things the way Caleb was in college. Just goes to show how much. So I think sometimes the mainstream media can control the narrative to try and get people riled up, or I don't know if they're trying to make arguments, but it's almost like they held stuff back. But now he's out there and we're seeing him for real. We're seeing so much more of him. I just think, and I can see entirely why. As soon as they spoke to him, as soon as they, saw him in person, they got into a chat with him about what they want to do, what he wants to do. They got to know him. They went for him, and it was obvious. It was obvious that because they didn't get any other quarterbacks in for a 30 visit, and he didn't visit anyone else. So they obviously they met him and went, "We're drafting you." Yeah. And oh my God, I'm so glad they have. The stuff. Those two particular throws, like on the last weekend just gone, that one down the sideline to Odunze is just unreal. It's that kind of stuff, and it's just that extra level above where our previous quarterbacks have been. I'm not going to start saying names because it's time to Caleb's the guy. So, but it's the stuff that he manages when he's scrambling, which he does without panic. It's like in control. He's agile. He seems to be keeping hold of the ball well, because that was one of the things that everyone kept saying was in college. He was fumbled a lot because he was holding the ball out here in one hand, but his eyes are always downfield and he just reads the play. He just sees what's going on. And oh my God, the throws he's making. It's just, I think, I can't remember which podcast it was. Which one was it? It might be in the Monsters of the Gridiron. What's them today? And they were saying people are saying that there's like only 3 players that could do those throws, and that's Pat Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Caleb. So it's just like, and it's like you see how he's in the air. I love this in the top right there, the Jordan-esque kind of like figure. He's off his feet and he puts so much power. That ball flies like a frozen rope to exactly where he wants it to be. And I am super excited to see what's going to happen this season, man. With everything they've done around him, I am ready to go, man.
I think my little thing about him as well is from seeing Fields play in person last year against the Vikings. Everything he does was slow, and I'm not saying about his, like the players. I'm on about even like in between the huddles. Everything just looks so slow, and like when you see him like drop back to pass, and you see what Khalib's like now, he was so slow in his reads, and also he's throwing action. You know what? I might just say how I say it all the time, because at least I remember it then. But even like with Fields, it would just everything seemed to be done in slow motion. Everything seemed to look like an effort, and like how he read the game, it was so slow. And I mean, he can make the odd sort of really great throw, and I think he got away with it because he was such a good athlete that he could run so well. And I think that's why people really took him to heart. And he did take some big shots, but I just don't think he helped himself a lot as well. I mean, the first play against the Vikings, he changed the protection scheme and he got completely blindsided. He didn't even see the guy coming. With Khalib, the good thing I like Khalib is that he's on his toes all the time. And I'm going to call him that. Am I still saying?
Sorry, mate. It's just hilarious.
No, because you know what I'm going to do, because I know it's going to annoy you after a while. So that'll be quite fun. But just especially like when he plays against Buffalo, like his feet are always up and down his feet, really quick when he's going to go, and he goes through his reads really quickly. So, yeah, I think they did a great one there, the Bears did. And I think as well, the next draft pick, the wide receiver, Dunze, he could have got a touchdown over last week if he had just had his foot slightly out. And that catch he made over the shoulder from that pass was absolutely amazing. And then he had a great sweep, like a wide receiver sweep. Watch, he just sort of glides along, and I think them two could hopefully be another sort of Jerry Rice, Joe Montana sort of partnership that could last a few years.
Yeah.
What do you reckon about the pick?
About Odunze? Yep. Yeah. Oh, delighted. That was my dream. After watching Swifties' little pre-draft highlights, it's like and it was their number 2 player, wasn't it? They said the polls and Eberflus said they got their number 1 and 2 on the board. So absolutely dream pick getting Odunze as well. So happy with that. because they can grow together. They can be our Burrow and Chase, can't they? Although obviously without the holdout now currently, but yeah, so yeah, for them to grow together, they seem to have a great friendship already. And he's coming into obviously to learn from DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So wow, just I'm really, really super excited to see what he can do. It could be like a match made in heaven for many years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as well. I suppose we could move on to the guys who brought in, just like like the two, what you just mentioned, Keelan Allen, on the wide receiver, re-signed DJ Moore to an extension. I must admit now, watching I think it was a quarterback school on YouTube today, and they were going through Khalib's performance from last weekend, and Keelan Allen, I don't know if you were a bit injured but he seemed really slow to me. And he was getting quite a lot of flack off the guy who were under his shirt. And I just kept thinking, I've got to hope, some players will just fall off a cliff when they get to a certain age. And I kept thinking, well, surely Bears would have done the background work and now he's still got a bit of juice left. But I just think Caleb's just walked into a situation where not a lot of first-round quarterbacks get. He's not walking into like a team that's like lost, 16 out of 17 regular season games. He's got a team what's got a good defense, and he's coming into a team now where they put weapons around him, wide receiver wise, and as a running back as well. So he's coming into a better situation than a lot like Justin Fields did. I think Justin Fields, he just came in at just that time of the NFL team sort of cycle, really, where you will have like a couple of years where they try to rebuild to try and strengthen the squad up again. I think he just fell, unfortunately, right at the start of the rebuild. So I do feel sorry for him that way, but yeah, I just see the upside of Williams. It's just so high. He just looks like everything what they say is.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I was going to respond to that when it was my turn. Exactly that.
Go ahead, Jason.
I have zero worries about Keenan Allen.
I have really got worries about him.
Zero worries. It's almost like, I'm not going to say what's the word? I'm not going to say he's not going to go flat out now in preseason. His game is not about speed. He's out there getting the reps, and maybe they could just rest him. But to me, it's like doesn't want to go pulling a hamstring, or he's just getting into the flow of the offense. Because we're not going nuts. We're not doing anything we're not going to give away anything that we're just going to try any trick plays. And it's going to be real kind of like steady. Even though it's still, I think the play calling and the play designs have been better than we had all of last season during the regular season with who. But now Caleb's never been about speed, which is why I wasn't concerned when they signed him at 32. Because he just gets open. He just gets open. The guy's a solid pro, man. And it's going to be great. I can't wait to see them all in action.
It's going to be cool.
To mention, to go into your sort of, that's it, exactly, Foster. I agree. Keenan, he just gets open and then reps with the team, continuity, get to know each other's game. And he just won't be going, balls out for pre-season. And I kind of agree, you don't want it to be sort of half-assed where they're not really trying, but at the same time, he'll save it. It's like Mercedes Lewis. They're so experienced pros. They don't need preseason. They know what they're doing. So let's go. Squeegee says there, Keenan caught 3 TDs last practice. So it's
I was going to say that. Yeah.
With the stuff they've put around, like you said, I don't think any other rookie number 1 pick quarterback has come into a team like this. Never, because it wasn't our pick. Because normally the team that finishes worst is absolute dog shit, aren't they? But we've got a top 5 defense, I reckon. It's going to be certainly around that place. Our defense is lights out. I love it. Absolutely love it. And the weapons he's got, the O-line is looking better, which I don't know if we're going to discuss about preseason. But the players, DeAndre Swift, it's a strange one because he's obviously great. I mean, I remember seeing him playing for Detroit actually, and thinking that guy's pretty good. So Gerald Everett, again, is a great addition. Just unbelievable depth we've got now on this team. So never has a number 1 draft pick gone into a team like this. So who knows what's going to happen? And that's what will make it good is the fact it's about the balance of the team. Not only is the defense great, which is going to just help him out so much, with our generational punter, field position matters. Do you know, if you imagine that if we're pinning them back, the defense is going to just be they'll be right. You know, they'll be pumped as soon as we're inside the 15 again. Let's get a safety. Let's get them right under pressure, and that will give us. He'll be starting from like the 40-yard line from their half, the opposition half all the time. So he won't need to be doing 90-yard drives every time, which is great because it means he'll take the pressure off him having to be a superhero from day one. So everything around it is just, I'm fucking pumped, man. I just cannot wait for the season to start.
I mean, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the defense because obviously, we're expecting a lot of them this year, and I think one thing I've noticed about the defense, and actually probably across the whole squad, is that you just notice that we seem to have got a lot more depth. Quality players, especially like the defensive backs. If one of the defensive backs went down, I'd feel quite happy about the backups playing because we don't see it be shown massive drop off when when the ones go out and we have the twos in. And I just kept especially the game on Saturday, I just kept thinking we don't really have apart from maybe the interior offensive line, we don't seem to have positions where if that guy goes down, we're fucked basically. And that's obviously been a part of Paul's plan as well, is getting his squad so it's going to carry it all the way through to be a success throughout the long season with injuries. So I'm quite amazed at that, but I think one of his main strengths with the defense is definitely the defensive backs. And I mean, Kyler Gordon on Saturday, we're just you're like a man on a mission. When he hit that quarterback, it was like, oh yes, yeah. He's one of these guys who likes to be in the box and gets his head stuck in, where a lot of DBs are a little bit hands off on the contact. And he seems to relish it, and he's such a good athlete as well. And the new safety we got in looked really well. And Jalen Johnson just looks just like Jalen Johnson last year, just awesome. I think definitely because he wasn't on the NFL 100 player list. I think that put a bit of fire up his arse as well, which he would do really because he's one of the best corners of the league now. But what are your sort of feelings about the defense at the moment, and what are your sort of expectations for them through the season?
Well, I agree entirely about and it shows to the strength of the scouting that they're doing and the way they're picking their players is, like you said, no drop off. And I know that the thing is because it's like everyone, and it depends on your view. But some people are just like to be negative to say, yeah, but it was only against the seconds and the thirds. But that's our seconds and thirds as well.
Of course.
And they've got some tough decisions, man. To see, I mean, you think about our linebacker group. That's like one of our first choices of the best, one of the best in the league, aren't they? Edmonds, Edwards, and Sanborn. And then look at the two that have come in, Baskerville and Bombamiga. I've been like lights out, man. Again, this is like there's no drop off. There's so much depth, and that's without Saul to come in. And they've got Carl Jones. Every position has got depth. I totally agree about the secondary. That is, without that, one of the best in the league. And I love the chip on the shoulder that JJ's got now. I agree with him. For him not to be in there is bullshit. Aaron Rodgers played 4 plays and gets voted into the top 100 players. They'd better be 4 90-yard touchdowns or something. That's a bit of a joke, isn't it? And like you said, even the players make mistakes. And what I loved is he then goes, "Don't worry, I've got some more for him." So yeah, he is. Agree with Fine Smile, man. Carl, our secondary is elite. I mean, I love the Jaden Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson. So the way that Tyreek came on the second half of the season, he's now one of the best. Kyler Gordon in the slot, Brisker and Bayard, and now Jonathan Owen stepping in at safety. How is that not one of the best units in the league? It's woo. I'm back at 45.
I mean, the only concern is just like players like Brisker, who seems to get injured a lot.
Yeah, because he puts his head in.
I mean, he's a big hitter, but sometimes, especially his rookie season, the boy needs to learn to wrap up. And you know what I mean? Like, get your head behind the house like we're doing rugby and wrap up, and then it'll just go down. No player can run without the legs. And some of the, you go in for the big shoulder hit, and the player just bounce off him. And that really boils my blood, man, because that's just laziness, I think. Just get your arms around them, just get your arms around the legs and get them down. But so let's hope he comes back and sort of, because I don't think he's like played a full season yet since he's been with the Bears, Brisky, since he's been drafted. So it'd be nice to see if he can do a full season. But so what do you feel about the defensive line at the moment? Because there's a lot of sort of debate about, do we need another defensive end?
Well, I wouldn't be entirely uncomfortable if we go into the season with what we got. So I'm liking the look of Booker, what I've seen so far. If he can keep developing as the season goes. And Hardy as well has been brilliant, hasn't he? I think he's playing his way onto the team for sure, onto the 53. Daniel Hardy, he's been all over the place. Khalid Kareem has flashed. Again, there's little bits in pre-season that obviously you need it consistently, but I wouldn't be upset if we went into the season with what we got. In that respect, I'm actually kind of glad we didn't get Judon with that trade. The rumor is that we tried to pay a guy like that, at that age. He obviously wants his big payday. I wouldn't want someone to come in like that for a 1-year rental to take reps off of Hardy and Booker, because I want them to get in there and get their hands in the dirt and start learning and then just become, keep developing. Agree, Foster entirely. Booker and Hardy, they're on the team, obviously. Booker will be anyway, because we picked him in the draft and we traded in to get him. So I've got a cheeky bet on him for this season, because which is a long shot, but I've put a little bit of money on at 40-1 for him to be Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Who's that, Booker?
Booker, yeah.
You know what? I don't think that's bad, because one of the things that I'm really impressed by him is his first contact with the O-line, his first punch, and he's just got that really natural lean to him. But his first punch is so good, like he's getting like the tackle, off balance straight away, and he's so sort of long and lean. Like he's got such a nice bend on him, and he's very much an Eberflus sort of defensive, guy physic-wise. You want like some tall, lean. He's got good arms, and he can only improve, can't he? He can only improve, and I think he'll definitely make the 53 roster, definitely. And I think, like you said, Jason, I think with them two guys playing well, then they probably think, well, we've got enough now. We've got enough, and maybe we can use the extra place on the roster for a different position, which we feel like we haven't got as much depth. But the defensive lines look really, really good in the preseason. The preseason 3-0, we haven't got beaten yet this year.
Yeah.
And the Hall of Fame game is the Hall of Fame game. It's just I knew Williams. I'm just going to call him Williams now. I know we're going to attempt to say Khalib or Khalib. I'm just going to call him Williams. Fuck you.
That's fine. You seem to be able to say that. We'll take that.
I knew he wouldn't be playing the first game, and I also thought that they didn't really pay Bajan as well very long in that first game. I'm quite surprised. He only seemed to be on for a couple of drives, and obviously Rippon had that good game, and it would have been nice to see that wide receiver in the preseason again. Is it Collins who?
Colin Johnson.
Yeah,
he picked up an injury in the first.
Game.
That's why he's been out.
Yeah, so I thought it was like a typical preseason Hall of Fame game, really. But what were your thoughts about the team that played Buffalo the week after?
I was happy to see that. It was a great. I enjoyed that game massively. And they looked really good, didn't they? I say mixing the reps up between the quarterbacks. I think, was it the Buffalo game? No, it's Cincinnati this weekend, wasn't it? That was Tyson Trajan played a lot, and he looked really good actually. He's definitely the number 2, isn't he? Didn't see any of Reed, did we, this weekend? But the Buffalo game was pretty solid. I know they, again, if you want to sort of be picky, they didn't play Allen. They didn't. Von Miller wasn't playing, and one of their sort of starting middle linebackers. But these guys are all still professional footballers, man. It's like, and you just got to go out there and play and just do your thing. So, that's a good point, Squeegee. Yeah, not 100% sure about him. If he's not kind of like the makeup, is he? But I think they're happy to take a punt on someone if they think he's, and I think he's performing. So he may be better suited to a 3-4, but I think the way he's playing, he seems to be, producing the goods. So, well, I guess they'll have more of a look at him, for the last game on Thursday, and then in the last bit of training. But no, I'm well happy with it to keep Buffalo and Cincinnati out of the end zone incompletely, like 3 field goals in 2 games against that lot. With and then without say people will say it's the second string, but it's our second string as well. So really pleased with our depth, man. It's like, and it shows that there's the team that Poles has built. The depth wise, it's just incredible. So many positions, and like we said about the squad, the wide receivers, there's a big competition there. The running backs is the same. Tight end, I love Brett. I'm seeing from Brendan Bates, man. He's looking really good. Are we going to carry a 4th tight end? I think that'll be just depend on how Waldron. We know that he likes his 12 and 13, but as he said in his press conferences, he basically just did that because he adapted to the players that he had. So if he's got a preferred way, then maybe they'll do it. So, but the wide receiver, to answer Carl's question, you got that. Do you guys think Pettis will make the 53-man? I really don't know.
That's a really tough one.
It is a tough one. I think probably guys like Simba Webster's probably not going to make it. Colin Johnson may not make it. What's that other one? I can never remember his name. There's another guy. Yeah, that's the reason I can't remember his name. Freddie Swain. He probably won't get in because, again, we're stacked. We're so stacked. Obviously, the top 3 are going to be there. You got Scott. Valus is another whole other question.
We'll go to Valus.
So I don't know. Pettis may. I mean, the thing is, like the muff punt, and he got it back. But I know people notice that sort of thing because people still remember that about Valus when the following season didn't have a single fumble. But people still think that Valus was fumbling all the time. But Pettis is a tough one. I don't know where they're going to save places. Like the running back room. I really like the look of Ian Wheeler, man. The way he hits the gap, the way he accelerates into the gap. Yeah, just there's so much. They've picked up so much talent, haven't they?
I think as well. Regarding, we'll bring Valus Jones into this conversation as well because obviously they've been trying him out as a.
That's a bit strong, Carl. If you need to talk to someone, mate, just pick up the phone. Yeah.
I mean, Valus Jones, it's that he's quite the topic at the moment, and he's right on the razor edge of being cut because basically they got to the point now where they tried him at running back as, look, if you can't show us enough, at least one position, then we can't keep on this team. And to me, I'd rather have Wheeler than him as a running back because you can just tell Wheeler, he can tell he's playing running back because of how he reads the game. You can tell he reads the holes. He's got better, he can get his shoulder down. He's got a bit more power to him. I know Valus Jones has got great speed, but it's a lot more than just getting a hand off a running with a ball player running back as well. Can he block? You know what I mean? So to me, he's the guy who's right at the bubble because he's foot's up a punt or a kick-off already this off-season. I think the first game was playing running back, he fell over his own feet. He just fell over his own feet. And then I think he puts up an handoff as well. And I just think the trouble is as well, he's like, he hasn't really got time to learn how to be a proper running back because, he's got to produce now or he's out of the team. So it's not like they can say, well, you can have another year, learn how to be a running back where there's not about luxury anymore.
We haven't got the space to carry anyone, and it feels a bit to me like they're just trying another thing to see if they can keep him on the team. I think they like what he offers because he's done it. He's made some spectacular plays. That was a 40-odd yard end around for a touchdown last season, and that's what must be frustrating as hell for them, for the coaches, to see him with his athleticism and his size. So if he could learn to block, if he rips out a big kick return on Thursday or whenever, then he might be in it. But yeah, he's definitely a risk, isn't he? I think he's definitely in the bubble. I think Paul's is because obviously his first offensive player he ever picked in the draft. So obviously they're going to give him as many chances as they can. But it's like you keep saying, Jason, we both keep saying that there's so much more depth to the team now. It's not like it was a couple of years ago where, it was basically scraping a barrel of the quality of players we had. But it'd be interesting to figure out what's going to happen to that guy, man.
I just think it's a bit insult. If I were running back in that running back room, then to bring Bayless Jones in, I'd be like thinking, "You fucking joking me, are you? I'm better. I've been making sure I play better than him."
It's a bit of a kick, isn't it, for the ones that are in there already? Yeah, for the running backs.
Yeah, but so he's gonna. I mean, it might be his last game as a Bear on Thursday at Bayless Jones against the Chiefs, but. He hadn't done it, has he? I think he's like 27 already. So it's not like he's like a young kid, and he needs a bit of time to learn. He left college at quite a late age, and to me, I don't see him as a massive loss if they do cut him with the players they've got at the moment. So what were your thoughts about the game against Cincinnati? Let's talk about the offense.
They slow start, obviously. But the thing is, pre-season is the time to do your 3 and outs and just to struggle. And I actually think, I think that might have been a little bit of, what's the word? Not nerves, but kind of like, that's the first time Caleb had appeared at Soldier Field, isn't it? So he was probably hyped. He was probably like wanted to make a big impression in front of his new home fans. Just the excitement of being at his new home, I guess. And that's probably why, he just took a bit of a time to settle down, to just, get into the rhythm. And I'm really glad they kept him out there, because that's what you don't. You don't want to, have a couple of 3 and outs and go, go on, we'll just put Beijing in there and let him. You don't want him to finish on that. You want him to work this stuff out. You want him to get in, to learn how to feel the rhythm of a game, to think, right, I've made some mistakes, I can pick it up, because that's learning how to play football, how to lead a team, isn't it? So slow start, which whatever, it's pre-season, time to work it out, and then they let him go. And boy, did he flipping deliver the goods, man. Those 2 throws. That one, they say that one in the back of the end zone that would have been a touchdown if Odunze kept his feet in. That is that is like there's like 3 or 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the league can make that throw. It's just insane. I think I messaged Shorty about it a while ago. It's like the arm on the guy, man. It's real. It's like I remember seeing when we drafted him. I started looking for some tape on the internet, looking for YouTube clips. And there was somebody, I can't remember who it was, an analyst said that when Caleb is drafted, he will instantly have one of the top 5 arms in the league. And holy fuck, they were not lying, were they? It's like, wow, it's released, the speed, like the accuracy, it's a frozen rope, man. The one in the first game to Cole Kmet, and then these 2 on the to Odunze, the one that was obviously the touchdown that wasn't. Just to be able to do that, just to be able to roll out, to keep scrambling. And it just shows how he keeps his eyes downfield. He's always looking. So he seems to have that mental speed to process, to stay in the game, to keep looking for something. And the sort of awareness of what's going on around him that just is going to make him elite if he keeps going the way he is, So it's super positive. But the game on Saturday was brilliant. Yeah, I really, again, loved it. We kept a good team, another good team. So it doesn't matter if it's seconds and thirds. What you're doing, you're playing there's other look at the 3 we're playing, the Bills, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. 3 teams that are expected to be there late into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
So we're not making it easy, because those guys should have a good backups. They should have a good squad, a good 53. So they're going to have guys like a 90 that people are trying, UDFAs or whatever, trying to get a place on the squad. But it doesn't matter. This is you go up there and play who you're playing, and it just shows that whoever goes in, they're well organised, and that again is to do with the coaching. I've loved the coaching hires over the off season. So Waldron is like, doesn't matter who you give me, I'll scheme it, I'll run it, don't worry, and they can just put them in there. It means they're all on the same page. They're just coaching them really well. Whoever goes out can just play, and it's just we're gonna play who is in front of us, and just light it up. I'm just stoked we kept them out the end zone. And what I love is that it's just building this kind of. I watched have you seen the Ryan Poles, Hogan Johns interview?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No.
Recommend it, mate. He mentions like how he says at the end it was really off script, but Ryan Poles says, "I love this team. I love these guys." So and he's talked about how they've built this mentality, and I've picked up a few times, and that's what feels different. Is there's just a belief in this team. There's like there's a feeling. There's a real togetherness that they're doing something special, and what I like about the fact, I know it's only preseason. People say it's only preseason, but winning becomes a habit, becomes like expectation. You're going to go out there and you're going to perform. It doesn't matter who's in front of us. We're going to give them a game. So, and I love that. I love the way. So it's always a positive when you know that if we go into, after Thursday, and we've not let anyone score a touchdown, which is obviously a big ask on Thursday against the Chiefs. But if you're just performing and winning, it's a habit, it's a mentality, it's a feeling. You get on a roll, don't you? Because sport at this level is entirely a psychological game. You know, the difference in the players is just usually in your head, and it's just about being organised. But I'm really pleased with the way things are coming together. Like the whole team, the defense, the special teams, the offense, especially, and what we're seeing from Caleb. I'm glad they let him run out the problems. And major as well.
Jay, I'm so glad you said that, because when I was watching the game on Saturday, and, them first sort of, couple of series were just, really rough for the offense. And I think some of the play call were a little bit suspect as well in them players. I really do. We were watching something this morning, and he was saying, I can't understand why we're calling these players, that were on the quarterback school. And I don't think they helped, but I'm so glad the coaching staff made that decision to keep him in the game, because what would have been the point of pulling him out? He wouldn't have learned anything. And I was quite happy they actually had to go through some troubles right at the start of the game, just to see how he was going to react, his personality, and like he is as a leader, and to come out like he did were just amazing. But also as well is, I think Waldron's scheme is about 100 times better than what we got from Getsy. I've yet to see a bubble screen. Yes. 7 screen passes in a row. Yes. You know what I mean? None of that rubbish anymore. And, it seems like his offense is sort of quite running back centric as well, which I like. And you can see how he's starting to get, he'll have one set up and he'll try to get a few different players from that same setup, which is what you're supposed to do. I think the play calling is going to be a lot better this year.
It already is. I think that's what I love. That's what is that, and I've picked it up from, like I say, his press conferences, from watching what he did at Seattle last year, is that he's just able to utilize what he has. He's really good at spotting the players that he's got, the talent he's got, what he can use, and he just schemes accordingly. He uses his players intelligently, which is what a good coach does. Instead of like Getsy trying to make everyone fit what he wants to do. But yeah, that experiment failed, didn't it? Totally. So I'm just really happy that we've got experienced coaches that know some of these players. They know the coaching tree that everyone's come from. There's a lot of familiarity with each other, with the game they're going to run. It's just perfect. And I think the results speak for themselves. What we're seeing on these games, it's just the way it's running is just so much better, isn't it? So I'm well happy with that.
So what I think this would be definitely the first time me and you spoke about it. What's your feelings about the new kickoff rules?
I still think we haven't really seen it. I think there's people are just trying to feel it out. They're trying to suss it out. I noticed on the first game and the second one, I think it was, there was a lot of penalties. There's a lot of flags because people are just learning how the hell to do it. Obviously, no one's going to show any little tricks or anything. I think we'll get used to it. I think I see why they've done it. I think it'll grow. It'll grow as the season goes on, and we'll start to see some plays of it, I reckon. It won't be long before someone's scheming something interesting out of there. So I'm looking forward to it. Hey, JTK, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Yeah. I mean, for me, I know they have there's 5 yards between the tacklers and the blockers. I think they could be about 10 yards because everybody seems to be a bit flat-footed. Because obviously 5 yards, you're up to some guy in a long distance to get yourself going.
That's what they want, though, isn't it? That's what they want. They wanted to stop the massive, the full speed run-up collisions. So because it was a high injury play. Yeah. So the two reasons to see it were, one, to get more returns happening, and two, to get fewer injuries because people were sort of running into each other flat out at top speed. So, and that's why they've done it. And it makes sense. Again, like I say, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I can see how it's quite possible that every now and then someone's going to rip a big one out because you've only got to break through. You've only got to break through that one line. If someone gets a clever block, and that's what I think we'll start to see, is to scheme those blockers with maybe it's like a pull from one side to the other, like a cross or something, and they're going to try and make a hole. And then you get someone like Ian Wheeler or DeAndre Carter or Valus with his speed to blast through that. Because once you break that line, there's not much to stop you, is there? So,
you got It just don't know why. It just sort of reminded me of rugby union. Their kickoffs in rugby union where it's usually
there's one line and then there's kind of
the front, the forwards. Just reminded me of that first, but yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see how that develops through the season. And yeah, I mean, I think that. I mean, I personally think the returners should be running backs because it's just such a great scheme for a really good running back to return in that, because it is just like picking your hole, like if you take a hand off and then get him through. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that sort of stems out. Excuse me, but yeah, the next game against Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I don't think Williams will be playing, will he?
I saw something in the chat earlier, actually, from Carl that said that Eberflus has confirmed that the starters won't play on Thursday.
All right.
Which I think, I would imagine that they agree it with the other team. They'll speak to the other team and decide when they. I don't know if that happens or not, but
I'm not sure.
I would like to have seen Caleb get a few more reps because as a rookie, but I understand why, and I'm fine with that. We'll see, we'll see how they roll into the season, but yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So what it means is I won't stay up and watch it live if this first team. I'll watch it on Friday night when I finish work. So
I'm thinking out for that now. I'll just watch on replay in the morning.
Exactly, same. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so that's one bonus from that.
I think really the third game, it's just there for guys who are, unlike on the sort of out of try to get a place of the team. I run the roster on the practice squad really, and it'll just be another nice to see that depth again. If we keep having that quality of player what we've got from as backups, that'll be interesting to see against the Chiefs. But
it'll be a chance to look at the ones that are on the bubble, the ones that find places. Yeah. That's what it'll be for, when in a game situation, go out there, give them another chance to prove something, and we'll see how they go. But
I tell you what we haven't discussed, and is what is your win and loss prediction? Your highest and your lowest. So what would you think would be the highest they might get in a win-loss, and what would you think would be the lowest and unacceptable?
Unacceptable would be the same as last year. I think we have to be better, don't we? From what I've seen, my highest, my optimistic reach would be 13 wins. There's a couple of the games that we're most afraid of probably are obviously the 49ers, the Texans. It's going to be a tough game. Second week on the road. Potentially one of maybe the Detroit games. But yeah, I can see us slipping up sometime again against the fucking cheeseheads. But I think 13-4 would be my sort of reach. I think if that would be amazing. I expect. I think my lowest, I think I would find acceptable would be 9 wins. I think if we don't get 9, then something's gone badly wrong. I kind of think 10, 11 would be, okay, all right, that'll do. Rookie quarterback, new system, a lot of new pieces. But it depends how they roll together. I just think the defense will make a big difference. If they stay healthy, then our defense will make things much easier for the offense with the rookie quarterback, with the new scheme. So, I don't see it being unrealistic to win 12. 12, I think, do that, win the division. Oh, yeah. Let's answer Foster's question, because he mentioned this. He started in a star question as well about the O-line, because this is, again, the hot topic, isn't it? Because we're talking about, we didn't address it in the draft. The main thing, I think, is the two big points initially for me are, one is, like you said, about the drop-off when the seconds come in. We haven't seen the drop-off in the O-line. I've been pleased with a couple of the backups. Pryor's looked good at the right guard. Yeah, there we go. I like Matt Pryor at right guard. If Nate Davis goes down, if he's the starter, then I'm happy with Pryor going in. Bill Murray's looked okay, and Doug Kramer at center actually has been okay. There's been no dramas there. So, yeah, I would like to have seen perhaps a bit more work on it, but someone else put there it is. It's Carl. Yeah, Caleb makes the O-line look like an all-pro team. He does, and that's the difference you see in him, is that his awareness of the pocket. He knows when to move and where to move. He's just a really intelligent play. So I'm okay with it. I think they're kind of holding their own. It's not obviously the strongest part of our team, but again, we can address that. because like Ryan Poles said, is we cannot fix it all in one go. But he's done a pretty fucking good job in the short space of time. The turnaround on this roster is incredible. So, what's this? O-line is so close versus the Bengals. A few plays with one guy missed up. Yeah, I agree. J2K. Yes, it is close. It's not far away. If they, again, it's staying healthy. Obviously, we know what Tevin Jenkins is. Love the guy. If he can play 0 starters, okay, Foster. But again, it's people that are going to step in, next man up. Yeah, it's preseason. It's again not against a lot of starters, but the Nate Davis got beat on a spin move that could have been a TD. Yeah, but also with that one though, and I saw it was Chase Daniels actually was Chase Daniels analysis of that one because Caleb said it was on him and he stepped back into the pocket into that sack and he did take it. But yeah, we don't want to see Nate Davis getting beat on a spin move like that. But I'm not gonna throw him under the bus for that. It's like if he can stay fit, if he can stay, we want to see the Nate Davis from that last year of the Titans, don't we? So I'm not gonna like trash him right now. It's about the 5 together. So yeah, I'm not fussed if Pryor goes in there. Some of them have looked okay, but I'm not desperately unhappy. Do you know what I mean? It's but we don't want Caleb getting lit up, by flipping D lines all the time. So. Yeah, I'm not as nervous as I was about the O-line, but yeah, if they've still got to kind of keep it together. Yeah, that's a really good point from Cliff though. Actually, they played the starters in the joint practice, and the Bears torched them, didn't they? In the joint practice, they were picking off Joe Burrow. They were just lighting him up. So yeah, I think, and the other thing also is really important to remember about the O-line as well is. That Shane Waldron, with that season he had last year with Geno Smith, their O-line was absolutely trash. It was awful. They had all their starters injured. It was horrifically bad, their O-line. And he was smart enough to scheme around it. So this is what gives me confidence, is that we've got a smart enough coordinator that actually, if that's the problem, then we can work around it. I think he's clever enough to do that. He's a good enough offensive coordinator. So from what I've seen, we've still got areas we'd always like to improve because Poles is never not working, is he? Hence the Judon thing. He's thinking, an opportunity comes up, I might try it. But what I really like about the way Poles goes about his business is he does not overpay. So people have talked about that, and that's one of the things I think we haven't really bolstered with some superstars especially on the interior line. You've seen some of the money some of these guards are getting, man. It's mental. So, I am happy that you won't overpay because you can do that, but eventually you will come up against the salary cap issues. So he took over, again, I saw it from one of Swifty's videos, that he took over a salary cap that had $84 million in dead cap, which is crazy. And he's now got it down to we've, finished paying for Danny Trevathan and all those other things. So this is what, and he does that by not overpaying. So you might like a player and you think, actually, I'm not willing to mortgage the future by getting this guy in. And I like that way of doing things. So,
I do as well, Jason, because it just makes sense. And also you're able to protect yourself against sort of future, big deals. What you're gonna have to make, we're gonna have to pay Williams, once his contract runs, and he could become the highest player in NFL history if he's playing well at quarterback.
Yeah.
And he just does it in a logical way, I think, as well. But I think my feeling with the offensive line is that I'm a little bit sort of worried about the depth we got as left tackle. I don't, who's going to play if Braxton Jones goes down. It'd just be nice to have a cohesive unit what's been together for at least 3 or 4 games. The same unit. I know you have players going in and out in pre-season anyway, because that's what it's all about, is players getting a chance to show the skills off. But it'd just be nice, if we get, if Jenkins can stay healthy this year, because I know his contract.
I'm just praying that he can stay healthy, get a new deal.
To November time when they're going to review it, and if he can keep himself fit. I just want to see that cohesion, but they do seem to be sort of getting a bit more nasty, the offensive line, I've noticed. I think, they're always there running up behind. If some of our guys been tackled, they're always there getting them up and sort of, which I really like. But yeah, I think Poles like a decision. I think a lot of things are falling in his favour, but everything just seems to has just been dripping. And now it's all just slowly filling up now. We're seeing all these great depths in players. We're getting the superstars. And I I knew that when he took over, it wasn't gonna all change within a year, because that's just impossible. It doesn't work that way, does it? When
No.
when he's stripping everything down and getting rid of the big contracts, it's going to take, like it has done, 2 or 3 years to start getting you back in, back on your heel, not off on your heel, sorry, but back on your feet, and sort of then you can concentrate on getting, more of the talented players, and spending like 4th rounds on a punter and stuff like that. So I'm just sort of, it's like you said right at the start of the program, Jason. I haven't felt this sort of optimistic as a Bears fan in a long time. I mean, my sort of thinking is that, if we get 10 wins, I'd be really happy if we got 10 wins. My height's like 10 and my lowest is the 8th if we only get 8 wins. But if we get 10 and above, then I'd be absolutely, because that just proves it's a clear step forward. The decisions they're making are right. And it's just sort of, can we dare to dream that we've finally found the right quarterback? Is it our turn finally, to have somebody decent? For me, as last great quarterback with Jim McMahon, I don't really give a shit what people go. People go, well, Jim McMahon, he was always injured and he had a great defense play, but Jim McMahon won 28 starts in a row. How many players can you say that's done in the NFL? And also, it was cool as fuck.
I'm not really sure he's like a superstar quarterback though, was he? He was a leader that they followed. To be fair, he was a character that held that. He was a leader in that team. But let's not. Yeah, he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, is he, for his quarterback play?
I think if he had got that real bad injury against Green Bay, where
fucking Charles Martin
shot on him and fucked his shoulder up, then I think he would have been up there. I just think the amount of injuries, you can only take so much, can't you? But
I'm going to address this, mate. We're going to get to the chat in a minute, aren't we? But thanks everyone for joining us. Yeah. But I completely agree with J2K here. If Wheeler goes on the practice squad, he is gone. Someone will take him. Absolutely gone. There's no way someone won't be looking at him and thinking, man, if they let him go, we'll take him now. I completely agree. I agree with Cliff too. I want to see him return some kicks. This is what I'm saying. If he hits the hole with such speed, if we just get one block and he's gone.
Is there any questions there? What we haven't really answered at all?
There's a few. I think someone in the background there, our fantastic friend, has started a few. So let's go. We answered that one. So from Carl, do you think Pettis will make the roster? He's hoping, obviously, that he doesn't, because he said about he's going to kill himself if he does, which is a bit serious. Don't do that, Carl.
Over the top, but there you go.
Yeah. My biggest concern for Foster is the interior of the O-line. I think we saw this one, didn't we? Yeah, but I like Matt Pryor too. He's a solid pro, isn't he? And that's actually quite like about the O-line is the depth. Imagine like previously it was, if our starters went down, it was Sam Mustafa and Cody Whitehair coming in. Holy smoke, now we've got Pryor, we've got Bates when he's fit and healthy. We've got players that seem to be just solid pros, and that's sometimes what you need, because you can't have superstars at depth. You can't. But you just need people that can come in and do a job, and I think that's where they've improved that depth in the O-line is doing that. Next one from Foster again. He's a popular chap here tonight, isn't he? Notice how for at least 4 years, Caleb, DJ, and Adunze in Chicago. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm now going to get a DJ shirt, because the guy's here for 6 years, man. And just like him, I like football. So if you've seen that, man, I love it. I'm gonna be shouting at him. If I'm behind the Bears sideline in Tottenham on London, I'm gonna be screaming that at him. Yeah, we need that Super Bowl, and I want the record. I agree, Foster. I want the records back from Green Bay. Yeah, definitely. It's our turn, man. We're gonna take the North and never give it back.
This season, we've got to beat Green Bay. We have got to beat Green Bay this season.
Yeah, sweep them, man. Sweep them. Just that's what I want to see. We're gonna just brush them aside. I was glad to see Caleb get so many reps. What will he get? Well, I think we just confirmed that. I think Carl said that he's not going to play. And then we've done that one as well. Yeah, O-line. That's our starred ones. But anything else from you guys? Yeah, thanks again for joining us, folks. If you, Chase UK says that Sewell had a really bad leg injury. Flus hasn't said anything about it. Baskerville playing so well. Yeah, I can see that. It's a shame we've not seen Saul. He's obviously been struggling, hasn't he? But yeah, Baskerville, man, has been playing really well. He's making things. What do you blokes? I'm going to do it in short. He's terrible. Dick Van Dyke, Berry.
What do you blokes think of Hard Knocks?
That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. It's people have said, there's too much of the sort of, DJ's family at the ice cream factory and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I could have not done with that all.
I know.
But they're going, I'm bored. I don't need to see this shit.
I love it. I love it all, man. I'm just loving getting such an inside view of the Bears, of the team, of the personalities of the people. Great. I'm lapping it up. Can't wait.
I know, like a lot of people are saying, we don't see me as much swearing in it, and he doesn't see me as edgy. But I think that'll come more over this next sort of couple of weeks when you start getting cut downs from the team, and people's livelihoods are actually could change within a day. Yeah. But I've really enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, good. Sorry, mate. Yeah, go on. You go ahead. Tell me about Hard Knocks, and then we'll go on to this question from Cliff.
I've just really enjoyed it. Just to get a chance to see behind the scenes at the Bears. You know what I mean? Because the Bears sort of ownership of sort of try to keep the Bears from Hard Knocks for so many years, and it is refreshing. But I do feel like it just feels quite sanitized at the moment. It feels like the Bears like hierarchy are looking good. Look, we're not having that. We're not having that. But hopefully, like you say, things are going to heat up anyway over the next sort of month. So I've enjoyed it, man. I mean, it's the Bears, and I could watch that all day long. Anything like that about the Bears. So it's nice to have, it's just nice time as well because we got Kalib as well. But that's just a nice marriage, and hopefully, it's just going to get more and more people excited.
Yeah. Agreed. No, it brings people in, doesn't it? Yeah, but I like it. I love the Bears. So anything to show me more of what they're about, I love it. And I like this. I like to see it. It's nice to see the sort of workings. So the DJ signing, some of those sort of discussions they've had about who does what. I quite like the sort of what do you call it? The initiations they've all got to do when they've all got to do their song and tell them their shame for old Benedette, because that was hilarious. The second episode when he said about the messages he's getting, like mother of two with saying, I found my eagle or whatever. I can't remember what she said. That was hilarious. Yeah, exactly. With a winky face. Just brilliant. Yeah, really, really funny. Where's Cliff's gone? Yeah, there we go. Cliff's question here. Waiting to see what Poles does with the cap space. Bears have left, signing or extension. It could be either, to be fair, because I think Poles is really smart, and he's always talked about flexibility, hasn't he? So I think we saw that he brought Sweat in, the deadline last year, and I like the fact he likes to keep a little bit of cap space in his back pocket for anything that might pop up. And I think that's what he's probably doing. And it could, to answer your question, Cliff, it could be either. If the right opportunity comes along, he'll use it for a signing. But then if Tevin Jenkins can stay fit, so they said it at the bye week, didn't they? They talked to him again. If he can stay fit through the season, and then sign him up, get him extended if he's healthy. I'd like to see him put this injury stuff behind him. It'd be he's out there, man. He's one of my favourite players, Tevin.
I mean, I think Greg Gabriel said on the Shaders of Aldo that they usually like to keep at least $7 million in cap space just to run through the season.
Yeah, there you go.
Foster's
pressing it as well. I see. Really sorry. Foster was clicking it as well at the same time I was. So he was putting it on. I was hiding it. Sorry, but yeah, Paul likes to have dollars available during us. I really like that because it means you can take advantage of anything opportunity that comes along. You can then leave it, and you're ready to get that opportunity. And that also means that if you can carry it over into the next season, can't you? Mm-hmm. Yes, but yeah, brilliant. What's this one? Who is this here? What's this? Squeegee. I was where you were on the Green Bay thing in when I started researching Waldron and his Hard Perkins system. Now I fully expect him to be Super Bowl champ. I'll take that.
That mate. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Squeegee again. When he masters this offense, he will be unstoppable. Yeah, I think we are seeing what he's made of, and I'm loving it. Yeah, definitely. It's. I'm really pleased that they were talking in early training camp about he was having trouble with the cadence. He was having trouble running the offense. There were false starts. There was stuff going on. None of that's appeared.
Yeah,
it's been efficient. There've been low penalties. So it means he's running it quite well, and I'm really pleased with that. Hey,
Yeah.
Booker, my man, welcome.
Cheers, mate. I think that was definitely something I never really saw Fields do. He sort of go and do an audible or change protection or anything. He didn't seem to do it where you can see Cleavy's already doing it. He knows what he wants to do, how to get out of things. So the future's looking bright. So what we'll do is we'll round the show off now, but I just want to say really this is from Jay as well, that if there's any people watching or listening to this from the UK anywhere in Europe, then we'd love to have you on the show as a guest. Because the idea of this show is not only gives myself and Jason a chat bears, but we want people on it as guests from Great Britain. We want to find out what made them Bears fans and and get their viewpoints what's happening that week. So if there's anybody who picks this video up who lives in Britain or anywhere in Europe, anywhere outside America really, because I want us to be international, man. Then we'll get you on the show. You're more than welcome to be a guest.
Yes, definitely. That's what we're saying. Because we try not to sort of go over everything. That's why we've not done a show, because obviously there's a lot of Bears podcasts out there that cover everything, really in detail. That's where we watch those guys too, don't we? So we're just trying to add a little something to the British fans over here, because there's a lot of them. I've seen 3 at work over the summer, wearing their gear, wearing their hats and awesome. T-shirts and jackets, yeah. And I always sort of shout. I drive around a little golf buggy around the park, and I'll shout, "Bear down!" And they look at me like we're weird. I'm like, come on, man. So tell them where to email to join the show. Is it BearsCountryProductions@gmail.com? Is that right, Shorty? But yeah, so email. The email's in the post description, in the link. Tell them you want to get on the British Bears show. We'd love to get. This is the whole point of just bringing us British fans together. We know there's a lot of us out there. So yeah, that's what it's for. Just a Bears fans podcast with a bit of British accent. We're not experts. We're just fans. So the analysis can be done by someone else. We tell you what we see. Probably wrong. Come and join us and have a chat. And What's that, Foster? What are you doing, man? I haven't got a stat this week. I've got no stat this week. What are you playing that?
But anyway,
that was your stat for the week. You said we're probably wrong, but it's okay. That was your stat for the week, man.
Oh, there we go. I'll take it. That'll do then. Yeah.
I didn't want to jump in, guys, but I wanted to let everybody know that we are sponsored by BetUS, and I got my catalog today in the mail.
Cool.
BetUS. It's got. I'm freaking because it's got every game, college and pro, and it's got all the tips and the angles and everything in there. So.
Nice.
Great show, guys. I'm sorry I jumped in. I just wanted to
No. It was a pleasure to see your face, Foster.
Run this real quick, and I'll get out of your way. It'll take 10, 15 seconds. You guys can close it up.
Cool.
BetUS, man. There's a promo code in there. You get 125% bonus with the link below.
And please,
if you.
So you say it. You probably sound better from your accent.
So the band, of course, if you do bet, please bet responsibly.
If I say it, just sounds like a load of money.
No, the beard is back. The beard is back. Not quite. Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, just want to say a big shout out to the chat, man. Thanks you guys for joining us. If we missed your question, we do apologise. I'm sure you'll. Let them have it. Let them know on Thursday. So tell them that they should shit if you think so. Great to see you guys in here, helping us out. And yeah, tell your English friend, your British friends, your UK friends, what century is Chris in? That phone on the wall is a red.
It's a video phone from a flat.
That's his secure entry, J2K. Yeah, man. Don't disrespect. Safety is important. Yeah. Don't use your mortgage money to bet on Caleb winning the Super Bowl as a rookie. Shorty, good to see you, man. Great show. Great to see the British Bears are back. So yeah, we are, man, and it's super great to be back. I am freaking excited for the season. The future is bright, and I'm loving what we're seeing. Preseason's been great. Some tough decisions to come up. Cliff, great to see you in here too, mate. Thanks. Squeegee, yes, it's the bat phone. That's Chris's other life. We don't talk about that in public.
I have beautiful lives.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think what else have I got in my notes here? Let's have a quick look before we go. The Herbert trade talk, what a load of rubbish. I don't think he's going anywhere unless someone makes an offer. I mean, would they? I don't know. Again, polls is always working. We've got to shed places because the room is stacked. They're not going to pay him, are they? Because the league just don't pay running backs now. So unless he's going to take a real team-friendly deal, I can't see it happening. But you never know. Glad to see some of the injuries are sort of fading away. Brisker was out, Gordon was out. I don't know. Tyreek has been sort of eased in, hasn't he? But and Karan is off the injured list, and hopefully he's practicing. So it'd be nice to see at some point. It won't be early, will it? With Karan Amagaji to tackle. But yeah, we'll see what he's made of, and that he could be one for the future. So Caleb's the real deal. That's what I got written down there, which he is. Watch out, the NFC North, we are coming. Defense is the real deal as well. Preseason, yeah, just competition, man. Just Josh Blackwell's been brilliant. Greg Stoneman, Reddy Stewart has been about. Brendan Bates, he's one of my favourites. He's been really good, isn't he? I think Brendan Bates, the tight end. So, but I don't know if he'll carry 4. Repeat myself. Let's wrap it up. Anything else to add? But yeah, thanks again, guys. Cheeky one from J2K. Watch for a trade with the Bengals. Gut feeling. Are you thinking Herbert for Hendrickson? Is that what he's thinking? Probably. Getting Brisker and Gordon back has been a big play. Absolutely, Cliff. Totally. Yeah. Gordon, what a game he had last week. Awesome. Totally cool. But yeah, it looks good to see the defense. We're the monsters of the midway, man. We all love defense still. No matter how excited we are for our generational quarterback, we still like to see defensive back blitzes laying out the quarterback. That's what we like.
Cool. Right, then let's wrap the show up, man. It's been an awesome first show. I know we're a little bit all over, but we just really wanted to quickly go through the off season because obviously, we haven't done any shows through the off season. But yeah, it's just been great. It's great to see some familiar faces in the chat like Cliff and J2K. It's been awesome to see them in the chat, and it's just been great to be back. And like we say, we really want to get some British guests on. We're going to be back every Tuesday, so it gives us. We can also talk about the Monday night games as well. So I think that's it, and I think we should just leave on a bear down after 3. 1, 2, 3, bear down.
Bear down.
Oh,